Braxton. I hope everyone's doing great today. Kind of going to start a new adventure today. I'm going to try out this whole vlogging deal and see how it works out. Little background story. I'm going to try to go with the automotive direction on this channel. I've had a few builds in the past. I've just been a little bit too busy and didn't really realize the potential of YouTube at the time. I have a few videos on my YouTube channel now of some of the old builds that I have. Nothing too crazy, just kind of stuff that I was playing around with. I'm pretty young, I'm only 24, so I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity yet to do anything crazy, but just some past work on some of the few builds that I have done that are have some videos on the channel. Had a 03 Mach 1 Mustang, put a Eaton blower on it, and had fun with it for a little while. There's a few videos on the channel of that. Racing it and having some good times, stuff like that. So I had that and I sold that, got rid of it, and then I got a 335 BMW XI, which is the all-wheel drive V6 twin turbo version of that vehicle. Great car. It was an automatic. That Mustang was a standard, but anyway, standard 5-speed. But that being was a 6-speed automatic, shiftable automatic. Had fun with it for a little bit. Put a tune on it. I don't really think there's a whole lot of videos of that on there. Had fun with it for a little bit. Then I sold it for a 330 BMW standard that I used as a sales vehicle for my company, Thermal Shield Spray Foam. I do spray foam installation, as you can probably tell with my clothes, constantly filthy. But anyway, used it for a sales vehicle for a while. Great car. Just didn't have enough get up and go for me, so I got rid of it, traded that in. I got a C6 08 Vet LS3 in it. I put a cam intake, headers, Corsa exhaust, custom dyno tune. It was a 6-speed manual car, great car, liked it a lot. Just got it set up for nitrous, and I went out of town over Labor Day weekend 2 or 3 years ago, and some guy was drunk driving and sideswiped it in front of my house while it was parked, and it got totaled. So that was kind of something that I took as a sign I shouldn't have any more cars for a little bit. I've always had my truck got a 2015 F250 Platinum 6.7 Power Stroke. It's tuned, deleted, pretty much that's all it is. Exhaust, that kind of fun stuff. Has a 4-inch lift on it with some 22x12 fuels and some 30, well, they're actually 325/50 R22 Nittos. But this has been my daily now for about 2 years. I think, yeah, 88, almost 89,000 miles on it now. Anyway, so I've always had some toys and stuff. Well, time came, I got engaged. High school sweetheart, my beautiful wife, and we kind of settled down a little bit, so I got rid of my toys and got a ring and stuff like that. Got married July 21st of 17, so a little bit past a year now, and I haven't had a toy since. But what I did is, right before we got married, I took my wife had a 15 Mustang EcoBoost that she had bought, and I had some fun with it, got it tuned and messed around with it a little bit, but I didn't like her being in the car. So what I did is I took that vehicle and searched for a long time, but I finally found a used SRT Grand Cherokee. It's black on black Alcantara and leather mix. A really sweet car. We were looking for that car for a while, and finally found one that it was used, and it was local, and it's a car that I was searching for quite a while, but we found it, got it. So that's kind of my toy, I guess you could say. She dailies it around every day, so I don't get to drive it as often as I wish I could, but it's a fun car. So what I was kind of doing is, I had a company, have a spray foam company, and I had 2 rigs up and running and going crazy, and I just didn't have time to do anything like this. Kind of was running around with my head cut off for a little bit, trying to manage employees and whatnot. We service about 200 radius, 200-mile radius area, and so what we did, we had that, and then I actually had a fire. I had a 08 F250 that caught fire. and burned my truck and trailer to the ground on one of my rigs. So we cut back to one rig, and so now I had that one rig paid off, so I used that money from that rig to pay off my other rig, so now I don't have a payment on that. So I'm just going to run one rig a little bit more efficiently and kind of go from there. So I'll have a little bit more time on my hands now. So trying to get into some vlogging, I guess, give it a shot and see where it goes. I really like cars, and that's kind of my passion. I really would like to have another build here pretty soon, now that I kind of did our own thing, and we have a house now, and we both have our cars and things like that, and we're kind of ready for that. So I wanted to do something kind of cool. Maybe once I get some subscribers up and know that I'll have an audience to give it to, I'd like to either buy a car to do a build, or I was thinking about compound turboing or big turboing my F250 Power Stroke here, and seeing if we can do some fun stuff with that. Maybe take the lift off, run some smaller tires, some traction bars and stuff like that, and beef up the front end, and maybe have some fun with that. I had a 2011 Duramax, 2 trucks before this, and put compound turbos on it. They were 475, what were they? I forgot what brand they were. Fleece turbos, I guess they were. And I put a compound setup over that, 475 over stock. Had it powder coated all white and some cool stuff like that. Once I kind of get familiar with all the editing software and things like that, I can kind of show y'all some videos and things like that of that I have saved. But anyway, yeah, I had that compound turbo Duramax, and it was great. It was a stock motor, stock transmission, just compound turbos. Had a CP3 conversion on it. I was running a fast, I think it was a 160 system, external fuel system for that, and it was a lot of fun. I rebuilt it, and I put 2.5 Fox shocks all the way around, so it had basically Ford Raptor suspension, a little different with it being on a 2500, but the same caliper of size of shock on it, and built the whole front end, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool truck. It had some 0 to 60 stuff, and it would do like 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds for a 8,400 pound truck, I think it was. That's pretty crazy. Had it for a while, and then had a guy offer me some money for it. I took it and got into a 15 Duramax, and then a little bit later I traded in for this baby, and been rolling with it ever since. So could do an option with this, either a big turbo, or I don't know if they offer a compound turbo kit for Power Strokes. I believe they do, but I'll have to check in with PPEI, Corey Willis. He's the one who always does my tuning and things like that on my diesel vehicles. So I'll have to check on that, but maybe do something like that. Maybe put a blower on the SRT, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards. I really think that's a pretty cool car, has a lot of potential, and there's not really anybody on YouTube that's doing a channel about an SRT Grand Cherokee that's a newer style. It's a 2014, so it has a 6.4 Hemi in it, and right now it's 100%. Well, it's bone stock. It has a resonator delete, X-pipe delete, I guess, and it's running just a box tune offline that I was playing with and trying to get with that and seeing kind of where that would take it, but it didn't do a whole lot for it. It just being a box tune, it didn't really do a whole lot. It firmed the shifts up and things like that, but basically it's a stock car. So I'd like to, maybe dabble with that, put a blower on it, or maybe even a turbo setup. I know that the turbo setups work really good on the Grand Cherokees with the all-wheel drive and able to get off the line really good. So I don't know, I don't really know which direction I'm going to take. I may let y'all decide on that and do something cool, like maybe whenever I hit 1,000 subscribers or something like that, go ahead and pull the trigger on that and get that up and going. We're going to kind of do some other cool things here on the channel as well. I'm actually starting, since I'm cutting back to one rig on my spray foam thing, I'm going to try to open up another branch of construction type work. We're going to be doing some demo work, some stuff like that I'll have crews doing for us, and kind of go along with us on that. We got I think some good projects coming up on that'll be kind of cool, and then some other roofing stuff, some other roofing projects, but I'm sure y'all don't want to watch anything about work, but have a few little adventures. But yeah, I don't really know kind of what direction this is going to take. Like I said, I'd like to kind of leave that up to y'all and see which direction you want to take. A new build, or maybe build the Power Stroke up a little bit, throw some more boost at it, or the SRT. maybe have some fun with it and do some cool things with it. Maybe not something too ridiculous because it's still my wife's daily driver, but something to have some fun with and get some content for you guys. But yeah, so I guess just kind of, if anybody's interested, leave some comments in the section below and maybe give me some ideas on where to take this. I think I can give y'all guys some pretty good content with the free time that I have now, and you can kind of go along with me on the journey of doing an automotive channel. I watch a few other channels like Mike from Street Speed 717, Guitarmageddon, ZL1. I follow those guys. Cletus McFarlane, obviously everybody who knows anything about cars on YouTube probably follows that guy. So it's just kind of inspired me to get a YouTube channel going with my free time and maybe have some fun with it and just kind of see where it takes us. So with that, I'm gonna sit here. Just pulled up to my house. My wife is not home yet, but whenever she is, maybe we'll get a rolling shot of her pulling in here in a minute. I think she's probably going to be home about the same time that I am. I'm going to go ahead and load a different tune into my truck. I pull a lot of trailers with my company, and I was running on the race tune for a little bit, the hottest tune, just having some fun with it. I had just recently got it back. Busted out a rear window, paint rig, went through it. So has a new window on it and got the tires put on it and things like that. Kind of freshened up a little bit to where I got it back. It's been a while, so I was having some fun with it on the race tune, but now I think we're going to go ahead and just put it back on the regular street tune, make it a little bit more drivable and able to pull trailers. We're about to switch the tunes on this vehicle. I thought I might as well just show it to y'all while I have a GoPro in my hand. I use just a SCT flash tuner on this vehicle. This is actually the only diesel vehicle that I did not have Corey tune from PPEI, just because it was kind of a fast deal. I got into into a Ford, and I've never been into a Ford diesel before, so kind of went a different direction. I heard SCT was the way to go. They're all right tunes. Honestly, I like Corey's better, but they are more expensive, so kind of get what you pay for, I guess, in the diesel market. But yeah, so what you do here is you turn your key on, just the auxiliary, and then you'll go in here to your OBD2 port, which I had to unplug my Edge programmer here so I could, well, technically it's just digital gauges is what it is, shoot trouble codes and things like that. So you go into your OBS2 port, or OBD2 port. Better view on this thing. What you do is you go into the program vehicle. Obviously it's not for street use, we don't drive this on the street. The key is on. Kind of walk you through this thing here, and then here's the custom tunes. So we have the preload tunes here, which is just the stock tune, and then you have which they're kind of out of order here, but you got your stock tune, which is just basically back to stock. You got a tow tune, which is, I think it's a 30 horse tune or something like that, just something real relaxed to tow with. You got your street tune, which I believe is I want to say it's a 120 horse tune maybe. Something like that. I want to say somewhere 100 or 120. I can't really remember with these Power Stroke tunes how they work. But then you got your Hot Street, which I believe is a 150 tune, and then you got your Race, which I believe on this one is a 200 tune. I could be wrong on that. Like I said, I'm not super familiar with the Power Strokes on how they work and what their tuning levels are. It's been so long since I've even changed tunes on this still. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go with Street. It's just a real drivable tune. Like I said, adds about 100 horsepower or something like that, which is crazy that you can do that with the handheld tuner with these new diesels like this, or, well, I guess any diesels with the OBD2 port. But anyway, we'll let this go through. We have to go through some special options. Your tire size, which this is as big as they let you go. I actually have, I believe they're 34.6s if you calculate it from the metric measurement, but 34 is the highest we can go. So I did not change the stock gears. The front TPM's settings, which this is my tire pressure monitoring system, and with me running 22s on some 35s, you can see here there's just not a lot of tread wall. So I run my pressure a little low. It's probably not good for the wear and tear of the tire, but I like to run them low just so they're a little bit smoother. So then it says, are you sure you want to apply this tune? So we go ahead and do this, and then you let it all load up, and I'll show you guys the next step. Okay guys, so it shows the download is complete now, so you just hit OK. You can go ahead and unplug this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just make sure this thing starts, make sure all the tune works okay. So there you go. kind of start that up there, and then I'm going to go ahead and wait just a second. Go ahead and turn this off. Go ahead and plug this back in for my my Edge. I think it's a CTS. I forgot exactly what they call it for the gauge system. Insight monitor or something like that. But yeah, here's just gonna show you guys real quick here. Little company card and ThermoShield spray foam insulations. That's kind of the stuff that we do: roofing, attics, barns, coatings. We're actually getting into fiberglass, cellulose, some things like that. So I'll kind of show you guys some things like that whenever I get a chance. But let's see here. That's pretty much it, guys. So that was the whole process of the tune takes about 5 to 7 minutes, I would say. On some things like that. But what I was going to go over, these tires, I actually got them on yesterday, and I was debating on whether taking off the lift and putting 33s on it. That way it sits a little bit lower but has a little bit lower profile of a tire, so I can still keep those rims. But by the time it was all said and done, it was going to take about $600 to take the lift off, and then a new set of 33s that were 12.5 by 22s were actually going to be about $1,600 for the ones that I wanted. So instead of going that route, and I was kind of unsure if that's what I really wanted, because I do like the look of the lifted truck. I just don't necessarily like the ride. I know you do have to sacrifice some things with that, and that's just part of it. So I didn't know what I want to do yet. Found these on Craigslist. Bought 6 of these Nitto trail grapplers used online for like $200. I thought that was really good price considering this exact tire, brand new, because I quoted it, so I know. These tires are about $1,700 brand new, and they're not the best. They probably have about 60% tread on them, but like I said, all that did was basically $200, bought me some time on what I wanted to decide to do with the truck. And then now that may change with you guys. If y'all have any suggestions, I'm kind of open for it. I usually go pretty intense with my trucks, but this one's really basic. I haven't done anything crazy to it. All my diesel trucks have been deleted. I've never, not one time in 4 diesel pickups that I've owned since I was 20. So in 4 years, 4 diesel pickups, going from a 2011 to a 2013, then a 15 LTZ Chevy, and then now this. I've never once bought a single gallon of DEF fluid. So that's kind of something that I do like. As soon as I get the truck, I automatically delete it. And it's just a lot better for that vehicle, and it helps it run a lot smoother than what you would originally think. The diesels from the factories, they're just absolute slugs. My dad actually has a 18 Platinum Power Stroke. And he has some rims and tires on it too. I may do a little feature on that. If you guys want to see anything about that truck, just kind of let me know. I can kind of swap in trucks, he doesn't mind. But his is bone stock, not deleted, and it runs really good for a new vehicle. But you just can't even compare to what these diesels will do whenever they're tuned, and good tunes. Whenever they're tuned and things like that, it just it runs a lot smoother. It gets way better gas mileage, and it's a lot more fun to pick up to drive. So yeah, guys, I guess that'll be it. Just kind of let me know what y'all think on everything. Like I said, we can kind of do some fun stuff on here. Now that I've got down to 1 rig and I have a little bit more time and some more money freed up, we can kind of do some fun stuff and just kind of go out from there. I wouldn't mind starting some merch and some things like that, but I don't do those things unless I know that that I can have an option to get rid of them and get my money back. I don't like to do anything that's a waste of money. And then also some things too. What I'll do in the next video is I'll show you guys how, whenever I was a senior in high school, how I bought a real estate property by myself and actually turned it around and owner financed it for another couple. And made enough money, cash flow a month, to pay for my vehicles. So up until about a year ago, I actually sold the property so I can get into this home here with my wife. But up until a year ago, I didn't pay a dime for any car payments ever. I mean, since I was a senior in high school, I haven't made a car payment until about a year ago. Whenever I bought this house, I sold that property in order to put a down payment on this house, and a big enough down payment to where the monthly payment was affordable, obviously, and it was something that we could work with going forward. So, but yeah, that'll be for next video. I'll show you guys kind of how I did that and how I was able to basically drive trucks like these and, you know, an SRT, things like that. It didn't cost me a single penny. So I can show you guys that video in the next video. Until then, take care. Have a good day.